Hello, mutants. I'm Utisha, the movie goddess, and you're watching Mutant TV.
Welcome back, dear friends. Strebo here with you, as always, from MutantVille.com. You like how I've been working on my enunciation? Because I notice how much I mumble through some of these videos. I thought what we do is a quick mid-year report for horror for the calendar year 2011, Anno Domino. Where to begin? When we get to these points, I can never remember what was going on at the beginning of the year. The first major horror release I remember this year was Insidious, which was actually kick-ass. Though I think the first horror film I saw this year was Black Swan, which was a holdover from last year, so we can't count that towards this year. But if you're like me and you saw it at the beginning of this year instead of the end of last year and you really loved it, then probably got your year off to a good start too. Insidious, cool ghost movie, very poltergeisty. A couple little things thrown into it to make it different. Thought it was very atmospheric, very creepy. Had some fantastic imagery in it. I'm definitely becoming a big James Wan fan. After Insidious, it was very quiet for a few months until Super 8 came out. Super 8, boom, off the charts. Now, the interesting thing is, if you see my interview with the Dead Pit guys from Fright Night, Creepy said he didn't think Super 8 was a horror film. I have to disagree with that because horror films have the intent to scare the audience, and you know, that's what Super 8 sets out to do. It plays the majority of that movie as a horror film, and that it plays a lot of boos, a lot of jumps at you, and it tries to scare you. Now, there are a lot of other things going on in the movie, and it's definitely a horror film aimed more towards kids than adults, but it's a horror film, so put that in your bucket of chicken and choke on it, Creepy. And thanks to Super 8, we had a huge kick in the boost in the arm for horror. Now, okay, now that's a huge gap there from whenever that was, February or March when Insidious came out, to the beginning of June when Super 8 came out. And if one just looks at that and says, okay, horror, what's going on in horror? Well, we had 2 fucking releases. Well, you know what? Those are theatrical releases. The cool thing about horror is there are other things going on. Last year, the #1 drama on television was The Walking Dead, based on Robert Kirkman's comic book series, and it's coming back for season 2 this year. Okay, we also have True Blood going on. True Blood season 4 is going on right now, which is actually a pretty cool season. I don't think I like it as much as season 3, but it's very cool. Hopefully I'll shoot a True Blood video before this season is over. True Blood, very horrific. Not so much played for scares throughout, though there are some decent little scares here and there, but what makes that show awesome is it's punctuated by these awesome Grand Guignol moments where you can see where the effects team has really been given a chance to take over and impose themselves on the plot and the writers and force the writers into these cool little horror moments. Like, I will never forget, my favorite of the entire series was from season 3 when Bill is with his maker, that vampire chick. What is her name? I can't remember now, but I'm sure one of my legion of True Blood fans out there will be able to tell me. But she commands him to have sex with her, you know, and maker, the vampire can't refuse their maker, so he does. But first he twists her head all the way around backwards, and then he screws the shit out of her. That was an awesome scene, and that's part of what makes True Blood cool, is when they have moments like that that pop up in every episode. So, True Blood, Dexter, the serial killer cop, Walking Dead. Okay, these are fantastic horror television shows. In the case of True Blood and Dexter, they're on Showtime and HBO, so anything goes. Awesome nudity, awesome gore. You know, Walking Dead got off to a fantastic start with season 1. Season 2, I'm super fucking worried about because Frank Darabont got fired off the series. Well, I was worried from the beginning when they announced Frank Darabont fires all his writers. Like, what does that mean? These guys just gave you the #1 drama on TV, so you fire everybody? Knew from that point on there was some kind of behind the scenes drama going on during the making of this drama show, so to speak. Okay, now I'm gonna end up falling into going off on a wild rant about Walking Dead here, and I don't need to do that. I'm talking about horror in 2011 at the midway point. Now, the really cool thing is horror on DVD. Okay, I haven't seen it, but Serbian Film is one that a lot of people talk about. My good friend T-Shirt Joe recommends that I see it. So I'm going to watch it for you, Joe. And if I hate it, there will be a reckoning. No, just kidding, of course. But the cool thing is as a horror fan, there are cool films that are coming out. Hobo with a Shotgun, that had its genesis as part of a contest to make a Grindhouse type trailer for for the release of Grindhouse back in 2007. Finally made its way into its own movie. Hobo with a Shotgun. It's actually playing here in Charlotte next week. I'm going to try to go out and see it, review it for you then. I haven't seen it yet. Hammer Films has come back. They've released The Wakewood. The After Dark film series, you've got Seconds Apart. Okay. Troll Hunter from Norway. I mean, what the hell? These are fantastic, original, thrilling ideas. These are not remakes, okay? They have been coming out over the past few months. You can find them. You can get them on DVD. You can get them on Netflix. You can still see them in theaters in some places. As a matter of fact, Troll Hunter is playing tonight in Charlotte. I was going to go see it till I got the free passes to go see Friday night. So, free passes versus paying my way in. Sometimes us broke-ass filmmakers have to go where where we don't have to pay anything. So there you go. Even though we haven't been hit with one movie after another in the theaters every month in terms of the horror genre, there is still cool horror stuff going on out there. Horror is definitely thriving on television right now. That's a really cool change in the paradigm where everything's gone to television instead of being on the big screen, and all that's doing is planting the seeds for when that next big horror release comes out. Last week was Final Destination 5. This week is Fright Night. Contagion's coming up soon. Apollo 18 is coming up soon. That looks uber cool. The Thing prequel in air quotes here, prequel. That's coming up soon. Kevin Smith's Red State. I was gonna go see that back in March, but my partners bailed on me, so I couldn't afford the trip myself to Georgia. It's finally going to be given a wider release here in October, I believe. Maybe it's September. What else? Oh, and it all leads up to Paranormal Activity 3, and it's very interesting to see the whole paradigm shift swing from the torture genre of the past 10 years, essentially. So from 2004 to 2010, where we had a Saw movie every year on Halloween. And this year, Paranormal Activity 3 has taken over that spot. So, things have changed. We've moved on. We've got more point of view, found footage type horror instead of just that torture stuff, which, I'm a fan of it all myself. It just has to be a good story, has to be produced well, well directed, good acting, all those types of things. So, Paranormal Activity, I don't think they can pull off the kind of hack tricks that Saw was doing. Saw's a little bit easier to come up with stories for. You just have to torture people and chop them up. Paranormal Activity, they try to build a lot of suspense and make things creepy and have atmosphere, and I can see that getting old really, really quick. Though I did like the first 2 installments, and I really liked the first one. It really surprised me and actually creeped the fuck out of me. So, what's going on with horror? I think horror's in good hands right now. We got a lot of cool things going on. Even though we don't have that month after month release like we did back in 2007. But you know what? In 2007, people were bitching about horror then. You had a release every month. And the hardcore horror fans were going, well, we hate these movies. And they were there, they were whining because you had 28 weeks later come out one month, and Hostel 2 1 month. Then, what else was in 2007? I think 1408 came out then. And of course, we had Grindhouse double feature. What the hell, people? You don't know a good thing when it's biting you and you're fat, lazy, whiny asses. So, quit whining, quit your bitching. Shut up, get away from the keyboard, go live your life for a little bit, go out and support one of these horror films. If you don't want to see the remakes, fine, don't go see them. If you don't want to see the sequels, fine, don't go see them. Then go see the fucking originals. Apollo 18, Red State. Show some support. Try to watch something new instead of waiting for 6 months for people like me who are ahead of the curve to tell you what's going on. Get out, live a little, be adventurous, find out what's going on that's new and exciting, tell people about it. And as always, I'll be here for you at mutantville.com. This is Strebo signing out. I love you.